You're probably here because you're finding it a little bit difficult in finding your way about leadership, finding your way on how to manage people well, and finding your way on how to grow your business as an entrepreneur. Any one of these things are the topics that we cover. I'm your host, Sean C., aka Mr. CEO at 22. I am so glad that you took the first step of being here to learn more about leadership, entrepreneurship, and management because the world needs more people like you. We will help you to invest in yourself because that's something that is worth doing. That is something that is worth learning. If you have questions about entrepreneurship, maybe you're having problems at work or you're having some leadership problems or managing other people, boy, I have news for you. We have what we call a masterclass. Most of the courses in the masterclass deal with how you can generate revenue online. It deals with leadership, how to lead in crisis, how to break through the crisis in business, in entrepreneurship, and how you can manage other people better. Now, I always say the best kind of investment is an investment in yourself. And how much money are we charging for this masterclass? Not a lot. And if you invest in one, it's yours to keep. And if it doesn't, I'll refund you, no questions asked, full refund. So why don't you try it out? Head on over to sean.c/masterclass and check out any one of the courses if it fits any one of the questions in your head. And if you have any questions, you can just put it on the comment section and we'll get in touch with you. We want to know who you are and we want to hear from you. Until then, keep leading. Hey, good evening, mga leaders out there tuning in. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We missed last week. If you guys were wondering where I was, hindi po ako umabot. I wasn't able to make it back in time for the Leadership Stack Live show. We're trying something new tonight. If you noticed, the camera is on the left side of my face instead of right in front. End up there, and we're recording this on a 3-cam setup right now, but we figured you might have a better experience doing it this way for now. This is just testing it out. And we also have MJ, part of the Leadership Stack team, and she is going to be the one posting some of the questions that we have from Discord to the channel so that you guys listening in from Facebook and YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope can follow along. Now, we do have new episodes this week on the podcast. This is on Spotify. If you can search for Leadership Stack in your Spotify account or just search Leadership, I think you will be able to find the podcast already under the podcasts category. This week, we were able to publish 3 episodes thus far. The first one being a new series with a new guest. And you might find that interesting. This is, I believe, with Mr. Jason Troy. And the first episode is how the Silicon Valley employee built a business in 6 months. Yes, he is from the US and he used to work in Silicon Valley. And it's very amazing how he was able to start up his own company. We have an AMA this week. Should businesses in the Philippines go digital? That was a question that I answered in a Leadership Stack Live episode, actually. And then we have the second installment with Mr. Jason Troy. That's company culture and the leader's common roadblock to growth. So if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the URL right there. You can see that. Follow us on Spotify, https://leadme.ph/Spotify. If you are new to this podcast and you're listening in now from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Periscope, you've never heard of me, you've never seen the show, this is a show where we answer your pressing questions about entrepreneurship, leadership, and management, or purpose in life. We can also tackle that one. And you just need to post your questions on Discord, and the link is scrolling down below right there from .sean.c/Discord. It's completely free. Join the channel, post your questions there, and I will get to answering them. So, MJ will assist me with the questions, but I will start answering one already from last week. We have Miss Erica who asks, what do I need to start a small business in the Philippines? Let me just try to put that in so you guys can follow along for now. Hold on. Where can I look at that? There we go. That's the question right there. What do I need to start a small business in the Philippines? So the to answer that is not a lot actually. You don't need a lot of capital. You don't need a lot of you don't need a lot of connections. When I started out, I had 1,003 pesos in my pocket, and that's pretty much it. And I used that money to fund what is now known as SEO Hacker, which is a multi-million peso digital marketing agency. And we ranked number one for the keyword SEO Philippines. We're actually widely known in the Philippines for search engine optimization. So that 1,300 pesos, I used that to buy the domain name seo-hacker.com and to host my first website. I started writing there, just writing everything that I was learning on SEO and digital marketing. And that's because I was also writing on another blog called God in You. And that blog was actually a work of passion where I would write about my faith, I would write about God. No one was reading my stuff. And I asked Google, how do I increase my readers? That's where it all started. And when I learned about SEO, I thought, maybe some people need this. Maybe they would be willing to hire my services for this. And I started getting readers with the God in You blog. And that's how it turned out to be a freelance gig for me back then. So I was a freelancer doing SEO. And then lots of people were reading SEO Hacker as a blog. Then they started sharing my stuff. And soon after, they started asking me if they could hire my services. And that's how the business started. Believe it or not, capital was just 1,300 pesos, and that's it. No more than that. The second question. So to answer that one, what do I need to start? Mostly, I would say is going to be just a lot of guts, prayer, definitely, and a lot of hard work. And you can read about that in my book, CEO at 22. That's actually the first chapter. God, guts, and hard work. That is what you need. Don't need a lot of money, contrary to popular belief. Second question is, how much money do I need to start a business? Well, the honest answer to that is, what kind of business do you want to start? Because if it is a business where you need a lot of capital, you need to buy a lot of inventory and roll it, then yeah, you will need capital. But like with what I shared just earlier in the first question, I started a services-based business, then you don't need a lot to go on. You just need 1,300 pesos is what I started with, so you don't need a lot of money. But if you're gonna do buy and sell, buy a lot of inventory, then you definitely need capital. You might need investors. You might need to use up some of your life savings. It would really depend on the kind of business that you want. If you need renovations, if you need to rent a space, a retail outlet, that's gonna take up a lot more money. Of course, renovations pa lang, how much is that gonna be? So it's funny because I was talking with a friend not so long ago, and he wants to start a food business. And I said, this is actually the perfect time to start a food business. All you need to do is just create a logo, a name, Facebook page probably, and start selling your food. Make sure you're the best in that piece in the menu, whatever it would be. It could be hamburger, roast beef, liempo, whatever it is. Make sure you're the best in town. build your brand. You don't need a retail space. You don't need a real kitchen or a food cart. You just need a digital presence, and you can start selling. A lot of cloud kitchens are doing that right now, and they are making a lot of money. The third question is, how can I start a business with a limited budget? This question is still from Erica. How can you start a business with a limited budget? Well, it depends on the kind of business that you want. If it is a business that's going to be heavy on the inventory and you're going to need to renovate and stuff, then you're going to need to loan money. If your budget is limited, you're going to need to borrow money from friends, from family, from the bank maybe. But if you're willing to start with a lot of sweat capital, pagod, hard work, starting a services based business, especially now during the pandemic, that's going to be the smart way to go. And you can have a limited budget, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of people that, I mean, I live in BF Parañaque, and there's an app here that is like Grab. So they are a courier business. I forgot the name. Was it Munch? I think it's Munch. That's the name of the app here in BF Parañaque. And they are just servicing the BF Parañaque subdivision. That's it. It's not a very big place to service, but it's also not a very small place to service. So uh, that is a startup that actually just started during the pandemic. So it's something that is very interesting. I don't think that they spent a whole lot of money developing that app, but it would take capital. But the service behind that app is, I think that that's the most important thing. The riders, do they arrive on time? Are they courteous? Is it easy to use the app? Is the tech support behind the app responsive? I think those things are what's going to be most important. And again, if you're going for a tech business like that, you don't need to have a lot of capital. You just need to be smart about the people you work with, who you're going to hire, who you're going to get, and are you able to manage them well, inspire them, cast the vision to them. There are a lot of smart ways in starting up a business. There are a lot of smart ways where you can save money and save capital and still make things work. With SEO Hacker, I don't spend a lot of money. We're still quite lean in our operations. You might think that, well, SEO Hacker, you're a 50-man team. That's not so smart. I'm sure you have excess people. Yes, we do, but we have excess people only for emergency purposes and not more than one. Not more than one. And one of my philosophies is I don't like a position being monopolized. I don't want a position na if someone's going to quit, then pilay na yung buong operations. That is something that we have a rule against. So we make sure that we hire extra personnel plus one on every position that we have in the team. Also, the way that SEO Hacker hires is when there is a great hire, whether or not we have a position to be filled, we still hire that person because it's so hard to find quality people nowadays. Um, Next question from Erica: should I start my business online or have a physical location? I think this question is a no-brain. The answer is a no-brainer today because of the pandemic. I've heard of cases, families that have lost loved ones, and that's because the employer asked the people to still go in the office. That for me is, I can't find it in myself to ask people to come in the office knowing that I'm risking their lives and that they could pass away, they could die because of the virus. I can't take it upon myself to think na, ako yung may kasalanan kasi pinapasok ko siya ng office. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to deal with that. So I would encourage businesses to go digital instead of having a physical location where you're gonna ask your people to risk their lives to be able to run your business. So I'm a bit biased there because I don't like risking people's lives. especially if it's going to be your team members or your employees. Um, so definitely online. Also, it's more economical. You don't need a lot of capital. You don't need to spend a lot of time on renovations. You don't need to be there and risk yourself personally when you're going to be starting a physical location. So that for me, that the answer to that is a no-brainer. Definitely start it online as much as you can, not just because it's cheaper, but then everyone's safer that way. Next question is, what is the best kind of business to start in the country? For me, the best kind of business is the one where you are willing to sacrifice for, the one that you're willing to sacrifice for. That is the best kind of business to start for you in any country that you might be in right now. Why do I say that? Because if you start a business that you're not willing to sacrifice time for, effort for, that you're not willing to sacrifice your sleep for, your fixed routine or your schedule for, then I don't think that business is gonna last, let alone thrive. Especially on the startup phase, you have to sacrifice for a lot of things. So it's not a question of best business in the country. The best business is not a location based thing. It is a heart based thing. Are you willing to sacrifice for that business or not? Because if you're not willing to sacrifice for it, then don't do it. Don't even start. Next question from Erica. What paperwork do I need to register a business? Paperwork. Well, if you're going to be a sole proprietor, definitely DTI. I think it's very easy now to apply for a sole proprietor because you just need to apply on their website. And I heard if you're going to apply for a corporate entity, especially if it's going to be a 4 or 5 man corporate entity, it's super fast daw. If you're applying for a 1 man corporate entity, medyo mas mahirap daw yun. So it's going to take more time. It's going to be slower. So yeah, but I think the timeline has already been reduced by so much. Before it would take, I don't know, like a month or 2 months before you can get approved with your SEC or get your SEC papers, and it would be so expensive as well. So I think the fact that we have it online and we have it faster now, new entrepreneurs are super blessed. Who are the first people I should hire when starting a business? The first one, a lot of people would go for sales. Maybe I should even have gone for salespeople when I started, but I chose to hire the back office first. I chose to build my operations first because I strongly believe that if I have a lot of sales coming in, but I couldn't sustain the quality of work to serve those clients, I don't think that SEO Hackers is going to have a good brand, and I don't think that the business is going to last as long as it has lasted. Right now, we're a little over a decade old already. So, if I hire salespeople, madami nga kami makuha clients, but the quality of work might not be that great. And I want it to be excellent. And so I think we have been able to build the reputation we have now, which is one of the best, if not the best in the country for SEO, because of how I built the business. And that is hiring the back office first, making sure we have excellent writers, link builders, editors, to top it all off, specialists, etc. So it really depends on your business, I guess. If you're a service based business like I am, I think back office people should be the first ones to hire. If you're an inventory business, a trading business where you buy and sell stuff, maybe salespeople would make the most sense because you need to rotate your inventory. You need to sell and then buy, sell and buy, and buy some new stuff, cutting edge stuff, but make sure you sell it all on time. Di ka maunahan ng market. So maybe if you're an inventory or a trading business, salespeople might be the one you should go for. Blue from YouTube says, recommended by a friend, glad to be here. Thank you for being here, and thank you to that friend of yours who recommended you being here. Patrick says, medyo mahina audio sa Discord. I did something right now and adjusted it a bit, and I hope that helped. But feel free to stay in YouTube. I don't mind at all. The next question from Erica is, how do I find suppliers locally? There's so many ways to find suppliers, but then again, it depends on what kind of supplier you're looking for. If you're looking for services-based suppliers, Google search, Upwork, Fiverr, there's so many places to find people who would be able to serve you in terms of service. But if you're looking for suppliers for trade, I know a lot of people right now, ang go-to talaga nila is Alibaba. And then they would have the items shipped in a warehouse in China, who would then ship it here in the Philippines, and then you pick it up from a warehouse. And that's how a lot of people start their e-commerce business. Dropify does that, and I interviewed the founder of Dropify, Charles C., in the Leadership Stack podcast, both on YouTube and Spotify. That episode is out. If you want to check that out to learn more about dropshipping and how Dropify and StratQuad, both his companies, are able to help you order stuffs from China for super cheap and then sell it here for, like, I don't know, 20% to 100% profit, then yeah, definitely StratQuad or Dropify is going to help you out. Makes it super easy for you. You can order Alibaba, have it shipped to the warehouse of StratQuad in China. They ship it here, everything with insurance. That depends on you if you want to buy their insurance. And you are able to just pick it up from their warehouse, take it home, start selling in Lazada or Shopee. Next question from Erica is, should I use my money to start a business or should I invest it somewhere else? It depends on you again, because there are people like, for example, Marvin Germo, who is one of the richest guys I know in the Philippines. He's an investor through and through. And doing business, he mentioned to me that it's difficult for him because he is such an influential person and he loves getting along with people. So even if someone in his team is not doing well anymore, he'd still be chill about it. And as a businessman, that can prove to be a disadvantage, because if someone is not performing, you have to be clear and you have to be strict and you have to penalize that, because if you don't, then the people who are performing are going to see that and then they're going to say, oh, di pala pinapenalize pag palya yung trabaho eh. Then they're not going to perform as well as they should be. Now, there's gonna be a lot of problems with a if Marvin does not improve that way, or he could just be an investor, which is the path that he actually took. And now he's, I don't know, he's like 30 plus years old, mid 30s, I think, and he's also already semi-retired. You see, when you're a business, even when me as a businessman, I want to become an investor someday, because I don't want to keep on working and working and working until the day I retire and die. So even business people are actually gonna have to move on to being investors. The reason why I'm still doing business is because I really enjoy what I'm doing. I really enjoy what I'm doing. And I feel like if I don't do what I'm doing now, I'm going to be shortchanging a lot of my clients. I am going to be shortchanging the world from an SEO company that is really ethical, doing what we promise, white hat, and we achieve guaranteed results on the first page of Google. Mawawala yon. So I still want to do business. I'm still doing what I'm doing because I don't want that gone. And there are a lot of people relying on me. Myros might not be here, but I want to give her the shout out anyway. It's her birthday last week, and I wasn't able to go online. So, belated happy birthday to you, Myros. Thank you for tuning in last week. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. We have a question from Patrick Miguel. For a person who just finished college, how do you make and grow money this 2021? We actually have a video course, me and Marvin Germo, and the title is "Make Money, Grow Money." And in those episodes where we have that online course, we talk about how you can start a business and how you can start your investing portfolio. So that's actually a very interesting question that you asked. This 2021 is all going to be about digital. How well can you play in a digital game on the digital space? You see, people still want what they want. What does that mean? If there's someone who loves eating ramen before the pandemic, before the lockdowns, that person still loves eating ramen before even today. That hasn't changed. People still want what they want. But how they're going to get it has changed drastically, because before they can just go in a ramen store, order the ramen, and boom, you're done. You have your ramen, you can enjoy it. But now that's not going to be the case. Super haba ng pila, there's so many restrictions, you have to wear your mask, blah, blah, blah. And still, even if you do all of these safety procedures, you're still risking yourself and your family when you get home to the virus. So the how has changed drastically. And this how you're going to be addressing that, that's actually the game changer this 2021. If you're able to make sure that your business has transitioned or is in the digital space, and you're able to serve your market base well, then that's going to make you win. You see, marketing is marketing. Whether it's digital, traditional, it's not about which of them is better. It's about where your target market is. And a lot of people now, the first thing that they pick up is their smartphone, and the last thing that they put down is their smartphone. So that tells you that the target market, they're all on their smartphones and they're all digital. And if you're not there, then you're missing out. You're missing the mark. You're not hitting the target. What are you trying to hit? You're not hitting the bullseye. You're not aiming right. Marketing is being where your audience is. And for us today, us businesses, we have to be visible on the digital space. Next question. People think quitting your job and starting your business would be the dream. Life would be easier. Why is this a misconception? Why is this a misconception? First of all, when you quit your job, everything is uncertain. So right there and then, you're not you're whiffed out of your dream. You're no longer on dream zone. Dreaming is easy. Having that thing in your mind, envisioning it, that's easy. That's not hard. But actually being able to work your way there, that's the difficult thing. Because even if you could, for example, someone sends you a postcard of Baguio, and you see the postcard and you imagine being there, that's nice, great, it's cool, cool weather, you can relax there, sure. But traveling there, that's a whole different scenario. Especially nung wala pang TP-Lex, it's really a journey. And it's the same with your dream. If you want to quit your job, start your business, and that's your dream, getting to that dream, actually starting the business, that is going to be a very long, very difficult journey. You have to disillusion yourself thinking that it's going to be easier. It's not going to be easier. It's going to get harder and harder and harder before it gets easier. And that easier time could take 5, 8, or 10 years. I know for me, it took like 8 years before I found it a little bit easier. Um, but even now today, with the pandemic, it has become even more difficult for me actually to do business, because I'm still chasing my own quota of closing deals and making sure that we are able to achieve the growth that we're after last year and this year. So it actually doesn't get easier, but it's more fulfilling. That is what I can say. It doesn't get easier, but it gets more fulfilling. Because if you're moving towards your dream, rather than you're just dreaming and you're still in your day job, or you're still doing something that you don't really love, I think that the fulfillment is the big deal, or the big factor. Now, I'm not telling you or anyone listening in here to quit today. If you're thinking about quitting, di ka pa sure, you don't know if it's the right time, then I want you to know then it's not the right time, because you're still thinking about it and you're still unsure. So don't do it. But in my case, I was 100% sure that it was the right time to quit before I did quit. And that's because SEO hacker was growing beyond what I imagined it to be. And I had to go into it full time to be able to address the requirements and happiness of my clientele. If I didn't quit, that would be missed. So I knew 100% it was the right time for me to quit before I even did quit. But if you yourself, you're not yet sure, you're still asking yourself, should I quit? Should I not quit? I'm telling you now, it's not yet the right time. Okay. Next question from Patrick. Why is it important that the business owner is the one working the hardest? I think it is because you have to set an example. That is the main reason why. No, that's my opinion. You have to set an example to your team, because if they see the owner lazing off, chilling out, and not working as hard as they are, then they would ask themselves, why do they have to? It's being a business owner. There are a lot of things that are unfair that are dealt to you. Number one, when you pay your people their salaries, they believe it's their right and they deserve it. Tama naman eh. Because that's their salary, that's their wage. But they also believe they deserve that when they work for you and produce output for you, the business owner, they deserve for you to thank them and appreciate them. It's nice for you to thank and appreciate them, but then the philosophy also applies na you paid them for that work. So why do you have to thank them and appreciate them? Right? I'm not saying that's wrong. I actually encourage you to do that if you're a business owner listening in. I'm just saying that people expect you, the business owner, to appreciate them, thank them for the work they do, even if you're paying for that. But at the same time, they don't ever thank you for paying their salary because they believe it's their right and they deserve that. So, yun pa lang, you're already dealt an unfair hand if you're the business owner. And that's the way the game is played, you know. No one ever thanked me and said, "Sir, thank you na yung sweldo ko dumating ng tama and on time. Sir, thank you na kinalculate niyo ng tama lahat ng mga government benefits namin and it's all paid." No one ever said that to me because they believed that they deserved it. They worked for it. But they're sad when I fail to appreciate and thank them for their work, even though I paid for that. So that you have to have these things in mind, and knowing that you're dealt an unfair hand. If you don't show them a good example that you are working your ass off, I don't think they will. Ganun talaga eh. That's the price you have to pay if you're gonna start a business. Are you willing to pay that price? If you're not, my suggestion for you, don't start a business. Just remain an employee. Be happy with what you have, be thankful with what you have, save more than you spend, and then invest, 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 and you could still have a good retirement life. Next question from Patrick. What is great in having your own business? What are the disadvantages? So I mentioned some disadvantages already in doing the business. What is great? The great thing about having your own business is time. That's what I can think of. Because the reason why I started a business is I wanted to have time for myself when I want to do things that I want. I wanted to have time for my family. When they need me, I can be there. When they want to spend time with me, I can do it. So I think that's one of the best things about running a business. But you have to work your ass off more than all of the people in your team. That's true even for me today. I work very hard. I'm not gonna say I work the hardest because I don't know. I have 50 people in the team. Maybe some of them work harder than me. I don't know anymore. I don't know all the nitty gritty anymore of their work, but I know that I work very, very hard up to today. So yeah, great thing in having your own business. You got a lot of time. If you do things right, then you get a lot more income. If you don't do things right, then you get a lot less income. When I was starting out in business, I actually pay my people more than what I'm getting. There are days where there are months when my take home was less than the minimum wage when I was starting out. So it's difficult. It's not easy. It takes a lot of sacrifice, and that's why I said earlier, one of my answers about what the best business is. It's the one you're willing to sacrifice for. Next question: what are the 5 things you learned in being married? Okay, being married has taught me a lot. If you guys are married or you're thinking about getting married, you want to get married someday. 5 things I learned would be: sorry is more important than I love you. Being reconciled is more important than being right. Um, Also, sacrificing time, sacrificing effort, super important. And I learned that in romance, anything uneconomical, anything inefficient, and anything that is exaggerated, that's romantic, and you have to deal with that. If you're an entrepreneur like me thinking about numbers, you don't always have to be logical to be you can't be logical if you want to be romantic. So I learned that also. Also, I learned that I can be a really tough person. So if you're the tough person to love, make sure you find someone who is especially loving, and that's gonna be my wife, who is especially loving and kind. So I hope that helps, yeah, especially to you guys looking for your partner in life. Boss Rob, thanks for tuning in. One of the people I know who is very sacrificial and loving to his wife is Mr. Robert Cipriano, right there. What are the qualities? This next question is from Patrick Still. What quality does one person need to have to start a business bootstrapping? When you say bootstrapping, that means use your own money or your life savings to fund everything. So bootstrapping, unlike, for example, you have investors, hindi ka na bootstrap kasi may investor, you're using other people's money. OPM, other people's money. So bootstrapping is your own money, your own risk. You don't borrow from others. You don't borrow from the bank. That's what bootstrapping means. Now, I think one of the main qualities that you have to have if you're going to be if you're going to go bootstrapping is you have to be very frugal, and you have to start out very lean and know that your business is going to work. We have the lean startup model. It's a book by Eric Rice, Rice, Eric Rice. You might want to check that book out, especially if you're going to be bootstrapping or you plan to bootstrap. Maybe you're employed right now, you want to start your own business, you want to use your own money to fund everything, and you don't want to lose it. You might want to check out the Lean Startup Model by Eric Rice. That will help you tremendously in making sure you don't waste your money and spend all of your life savings for nothing. So you can use that model to help you out with bootstrapping, but you have to be very frugal. Do not spend on things you don't need to spend on. Never ever spend on liabilities such as cars that, extra, just liabilities, stuff that's not going to make money and are expensive or are going to eat on your capital. Do not ever spend for them. New cell phone, if you don't need a new cell phone naman to run your business well, don't spend on a new cell phone. Be very frugal, because if you're not frugal, you're gonna eat up your own capital. 9 out of 10 businesses fail not because of bad luck or bad economy or kulang ang kapital. 9 out of 10 businesses fail because of bad behavior and mindset by the founder and CEO. Kumita lang, ginastos na sa kotse, ginastos na sa party, or nagbigay ng balato. Yun yung mga problema. That's why 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Next question is, what are the small things you do? What are the small things you do to take care of your customers so that they will keep using your service besides from performing your best? So, besides from performing our best, we make sure that we have very good relationships with our customers, with our clients. We talk with them. Communication is key. When you don't hear from a friend or a loved one, the strength of the relationship wavers. And this is why, if you are in a relationship, a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, or in a marriage, if you have less and less time talking with each other, even if it's about mundane, random stuff, you will find that the strength of your relationship gets weaker and weaker. Communication is key. Same with your faith. I'm a born again Christian. I always tell people who ask me about my faith why I read the Bible and why I pray every day. And that's because I want to have a strong relationship with my Maker, my Savior, and my Lord, the one who gave up his life for me, even if he has everything. And if I don't pray and read the Bible every day, then I'm not communicating with God. And communication is key for a relationship to work. Imagine if your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend is talking to you every day and you're not responding, or you're the only one talking to that person and they're not responding, they're not saying anything back to you. It's a monologue. That relationship is not going to work. It's not going to blossom. It's not going to flourish. So, with our customers, we make sure that we communicate with them often as we can. And that's why we have account managers in place to take care of our clients. Other things that we do is we go the extra mile. The extra mile is all about, so the saying extra mile goes way back in history, where if you have a guest at your home, when they leave, you're required to accompany them 1 mile. Requirement yun, that's your duty. It's out of respect. If you don't do that, bastos ka, you're disrespectful. That's the first mile. If you go the second mile, that's what we call the extra mile, then you're doing it out of love and not out of duty anymore. That is what we tell our team. You have to go the extra mile. Don't just do it because it's your duty as an accounts manager, but because you love our clients, because they're the ones who actually pay us so we can have work, so we can eat, so we can have a livelihood. They're the ones who validate that what we are doing is valuable. Without them, we are gonna be nothing. So we always go the extra mile. Our clients love that. Combination of these things will make sure that you get to keep your clients long term. And my one of my very first clients, who has been with me 2009, still with me today, already almost 12 years after. So that's one of the major reasons why. Next question from Patrick. What underrated skills do you like your employees to have? Underrated skills? I think that humility and loyalty is very much underrated today. I don't hear that often, actually. So I think that they're underrated. Um, Patrick Lencioni says in The Ideal Team Player, humility is one of the key things that an ideal team player has to have. It's the most important. If someone doesn't have the humility to accept correction, the humility to listen to you when they do something wrong, that shouldn't be part of your team, because that's going to wreck the unity of your team, and they are going to wreck the place down. If they're smart, they're skilled, and they are ambitious, those are actually good things. But if they have those things but they don't have humility, they're going to be politicians in your team, and they're just going to be trying to climb the ladder at some other person's expense, and you're going to have a horrible place to work in. So humility is one of the things that I want, one of the virtues actually that I want my people to have. um, you mentioned skills, probably communication. One of the most important things. I need people to be able to communicate well and connect. People can talk. I don't need people who can talk. I need people who can communicate and connect. Meaning nagkakaintindihan tayo or kayo nung kausap mo. Those are the kinds of people, those are the kinds of skills that we value in our team. How Next question from Patrick, how do you feel about our school system? Is school still worth it? Why is homeschooling being a trend for rich people? Actually, I don't agree that homeschooling is a trend for rich people. Homeschooling is actually quite difficult. My wife can attest to that. She homeschools our two boys, and super kulit ng two boys namin. The attention span is not long at all. Even if they don't have screen time every day, they actually rarely have screen time. They don't have phones. We don't give them phones or iPads, but still their attention span is pretty short. And it's not easy teaching like math to a 6 year old kid. It's not. So, homeschool, I think a lot of people who are rich actually don't go for homeschooling. They would go for the traditional school because they just outsource people to teach their kids. And a lot of people I know also want the peace and quiet at home. So school works for them because their kids are happy, being in school, mingling with other people in class. But we chose homeschooling, me and my wife, because we want to impart our values first to our kids. That is very, very important to us before any education, before academics. I also feel strongly about our school system not adapting to the times. I'm not talking about schools having iPads. I'm not talking about schools having a high speed internet connection. I'm talking about the way that we grade, the way that we celebrate the uniqueness and individuality of the student. I'm a failed academic product of our school system. LaSalle, I failed 28 units in LaSalle. I did not pay attention to the teachers during my grade school and high school years. I don't copy the homework. Maybe I'm lazy. Maybe I'm just not cut out for how the school system is. And there are videos I've watched about how the school is trying to conform you to become an employee when you graduate. And actually, you can hear bits and pieces of that all the way up until we finish college. And the end product is actually us turning into cogs in the machine of the corporate world, which I don't agree with. I am a herald of thinking outside of the box and a herald of entrepreneurship. I tell people to start businesses and to do what they feel strongly about and what they're willing to sacrifice for. So I feel like I'm not going to go ahead and bash the school system, but this is just my opinion. I don't have a lot of I'm a failed product. Yun na lang. I'm a failed product of the school system. And that's one big reason why I would rather homeschool my kids. And I teach them stuff as well. I teach them about life, hard work, chores, value. That for me is a lot more important than the academic grades and accomplishments that, honestly, I haven't been able to use a lot of the stuff I learned in school, at work, and business, and in dealing with people. So for me, why don't we just skip to that? Because the point of going to school and graduating is to be able to have a good life and make money and be successful and support yourself and your family, right? So let's just bypass the entire school thing and skip to knowing how to be disciplined enough to be successful in life by being able to generate an income for yourself, which can support you and your family in the future. That's the game plan I have for my kids, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm right or wrong about it. Right? I mean, they're still 7 and 5 years old, so there's still a long, long way to go. Next question from LJ. How do you make time for your family while starting up a business? Very interesting question. And the answer to that is you don't. You don't make time. time is time. There is no way where you can make more time. You and I have 24 hours every day. The question is, do you still have energy for your family? Energy is the one that diminishes every day. It goes up, it goes down. Kulang na yung energy mo. At the end of the day, yun ang problema. But time is the same for you, for me, for everyone. It's just 24 hours a day. 8 hours is for sleep. 1 hour each for the meals and CR breaks, maybe. So that's already 11 hours out. So all you have left is 13 hours. That, 8 hours supposedly for work and lunch break. So all you have is 3 hours. And then, dito sa Philippines, we spend like on an average 2 hours on Facebook. So ano na lang natira sa family? 1 hour, wala pa. You have to prioritize. Make it a priority to spend time with your family, because the losing your family will not make your business worth doing. So prioritize your family. Make sure you block time for them. And then whatever you need to do in business, do it and do it well and do it with focus. I say in one of my podcasts that one of my strategies to be able to focus, finish stuff well, and finish them on time is I put my phone on DND mode. And yes, that has pissed some people off, like my wife and some clients were trying to call me. But if I don't do that, I am not going to have the time that I need to spend for my family. And I need to create great, valuable things that are going to help a lot more people, like what I'm doing right now. So you have to book yourself for your family. Block off that time for your calendar. Don't do anything during that time except what you need to do. You can be in the moment, but your mind can be elsewhere if you're with your family nga, pero nagfe-Facebook or YouTube ka naman. So make sure that when you block time out for your family, you're there with your family. Next question from LJ. How do you recover when your business fails? Well, when your business fails, it's not you. You're not a failure when your business fails. When your business fails, you have to first do a postmortem, dissect what happened. Is my product really not that great? Wala ba tayong product market fit? Did I not do my best in selling it, pitching it, pushing it in the market? Do I have it wrong? Yung price range ko, mali ba? Are there cheaper alternatives, better alternatives out there that I wasn't humble enough to accept and to strategize around on? Do a post-mortem, because when your business fails, guess what? You succeeded. You succeeded in learning that the way you did it was not right. We call that your tuition fee. Whenever something fails, you paid a price. When your business fails, you probably paid up the capital. You lost the capital. You lost the time. You lost the effort. Maybe you lost some connections because you burned bridges. We call that your tuition fee. You paid it already. The stupid thing that can come about that is you paid it and you did not learn anything. So if your business fails, make sure you do a postmortem and learn from it. That way, it makes that failure worth it. There's a story. One journalist went to Thomas Edison, the man who made the light bulb, and that journalist said, "Sir Thomas, you failed a lot in your life," because Thomas Edison failed more than 900 times in trying to create the light bulb. And Thomas Edison goes ahead and says, when did I fail? I didn't fail." And the journalist said, "With all due respect, you failed more than 900 times in trying to create the light bulb, sir." And Thomas Edison goes ahead and chuckles. He laughs a little bit and says, "I didn't fail. I succeeded in learning 900 plus ways on how not to make the light bulb." So having an attitude like that, where every failure is a tuition fee and you learn from it, that's going to set up your next business success. And that's all you need. All you need is one business success. You don't need a lot. Next question from LJ. How do you reduce the risk of starting up a business? Well, it's all about knowing what will work and knowing what doesn't work. The lean startup method by Eric Rice helps a lot in this. And he says make the minimum viable product where you don't need to spend a lot. Make a super cheap product and ask around if people are going to buy it for the price you want to sell it for. In short, i-survey mo yung market. Are you willing to buy this? Are you willing to buy this for this amount? If they keep saying no, then you don't have product market fit. Then there's no use investing in that business further. But if a lot of people say, yes, I want to buy that, yes, for that price, I'm going to order 10, 20, 30, then you have a working business and it's now worth investing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. You could study how much risk you're going to be facing by taking it one step at a time. The problem is a lot of business owners may FOMO eh. Parang we want to be the first and biggest and greatest para hindi na makahabol yung iba kasi pwede akong gayahin. Well, guess what? There are so many people who already consulted with me about business ideas that they have na never kong ginaya. I never copied even one business sa nag-consult sa akin. Why is that? They are great ideas, but I didn't copy them because I'm not willing to sacrifice to make those businesses happen. I'm not passionate about those businesses. My businesses right now, I'm happy about them. They're enough for me, and I'm willing to sacrifice for them. I'm not gonna go ahead and start another business, however good the idea is, if it doesn't have synergy with my business, and if I'm not willing to sacrifice for it. And right now, all the sacrifice I can make is with SEO Hacker, and I cannot sacrifice anymore because it's taking up a lot of my time, energy, and effort in making sure that I serve 50 people and I secure 50 people in the team. So I hope I answered that question. We have a question from Blue. Blue, I know you're listening in on YouTube. May I humbly request that you join our Discord channel because all the questions I'm answering are from the Discord channel. If you're not part yet, the link is down here. It's scrolling from the chon.c/Discord. Join that channel, post a question there, and I'm going to address it here. But right now, I'm prioritizing first yung part ng Discord community natin. If I have extra time, then I'll get to your question. But I love it that you're tuned in and you're here on YouTube. I have more questions from Patrick. And nako, medyo mahirap tong mga ibang tanong mo. Okay, let's answer this first one. Are you exploring about smart contracts? Who do you think is better with regards to technology used? Ethereum or Cardano? Not a question about which is better investment, but which has a better system. Here's the problem, Patrick. I have no idea. So I haven't studied them yet. I've invested in them. I'm quite invested in Ethereum and ADA, which are both cryptocurrencies. But I'm not really an expert on the technology they used in the smart contracts that bind them. Also invested in Bitcoin. I know how Bitcoin works, and it is a really good model for the other altcoins such as Ethereum or Cardano, but I'm not sure what the Ethereum or Cardano stands for and what the smart contracts they have in their blockchain. Second question would be from Patrick. They say crypto will be the future of digital money because it is not only money, but it's programmable money that is native to the digital world. The question is, if you're just a normal person, how can you take advantage of this crypto boom? There are a lot of ways. I know Marvin uses Binance, Binance, I think was the spelling. I haven't used that yet, but that's what he used to buy and sell his cryptocurrencies. I personally use eToro. I'm an eToro user and investor. And that's where I buy my cryptocurrencies. I use their crypto portfolio, which makes it easier for me because all the cryptos are there balanced out. I'm not a big crypto guy, so I just spread my risk with all of the currencies there. But I think that we are just at the very beginning of the cryptocurrency being standardized as a form of investment and way to transact, especially in the digital space. I'm gonna skip the NFTs because I have no idea about NFTs yet. I'm gonna skip that question first, Patrick. Sorry for that. But yeah, that's interesting. It's just that I haven't checked into it that much yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer Blue's question because he says he's gonna join after work on our Discord channel. I'm gonna hold on to that, Blue. The question is, could risk be foreseen even before we start a business? Is it possible? Actually, yes. With the method I mentioned earlier, the Lean Startup Method by Eric Rice, it is a book. You can buy it on Fully Booked online, or I think Shopee also resells Fully Booked books, or you can download it on Kindle. You will be able to learn how you can minimize your risk, especially if you're bootstrapping, which is using your own money to start a business. You can learn how to minimize your risk that way. Just create or buy the minimum viable product or service. Ask around your friends and family and inner circle in your network if they're going to be buying it. If not, you don't have a working business yet, and keep on asking and asking. Just run survey after survey after survey if they're going to be willing to invest on whatever it is that you're selling. And when you hit that sweet spot where they say, yeah, I'm going to buy that, that's when you have a working business already. And it's now safer, a lot safer for you to invest and produce it en masse and sell it out on the market. Another thing where you can reduce your risk when you're starting a business, read a lot of books and get mentors. They are going to help you a ton. Super duper big help. Make sure you listen to them though, because if you don't listen to them, you're just wasting each other's time. Get mentors to help you out and read books. That is going to be super duper helpful for you. Next, last question, because we're past an hour already. What do you think about the difference on copying and taking inspiration? I think that they are. There's a thin line. That's what I think. Taking inspiration, don't, for me, copying, just don't copy like 100%, like an eye for an eye. You can get some really good ideas and then cite the source. Make sure you cite the source if you're going to get inspiration or copy from someone who has originated that idea. Give respect to that person and put in your own flavor. That for me is going to make whatever it is that has inspired you worth publishing or worth doing as well. Yes, this leadership stack live is every Thursday 8 p.m. and we go for an hour. We have Kim Vincent Bellino. Kim, thank you for tuning in on Facebook. We have our Discord community, and I only answer questions from the Discord community. That is the link down there, scrolling from the Sean.c/Discord. I would love it if you could join there. And if you're there already, let me know. But yeah, I love it that you're here and you're tuned in. And before I close the session today, I just want you guys to know, if you guys are looking to buy your first watch, I know a place, I know a website that is the perfect place for you to do that. And that is armory.ph. What kind of watches do they sell here? They sell TW Steel, they sell Fondaria, they sell Dion Milano, you name it. So if you're a TW Steel fan, they are the exclusive distributors of TW Steel here in the Philippines. How much does one cost? That is very interesting. So it can go to 30,000. That's actually this is actually on the high side of the collection. There is the Canteen, the CEO bracelet. But don't worry about the price, 22K. 27K, and this is a pretty big watch. I think that the face of the TW Steel watch, yeah, that's 50 mm. This what I'm wearing here is just 41 mm. This is a D1 Milano watch. It's skeleton X-ray. So medyo maliit yung watch face. But if you buy TW Steel watch, it's pretty darn big. This one is for 27K, but if you're a listener of the Leadership Stack podcast, good news for you. We have a 30% discount. So that's pretty darn big. Just on the checkout, punch in your cart. There is a place here where you can put the coupon and just punch in LS30. So that's letter L, letter S, 30. And if you apply that coupon, boom, you get a 30% discount. So if you're thinking of buying TW Steel, D1 Milano, all of these are Italian watch brands, by the way. So, and they're legit because they're the exclusive distributor here in the Philippines. So again, this one is a D1 Milano skeleton that is from them. Safe ba yung logistics? Safe ba yung pag-ship nila? Yes. They actually shipped it to me and it's wrapped on yellow security tape. So you will know if it was open. And mine wasn't. It's very safe, secure, lots of bubble wrap. And I did the unboxing. I'm going to upload that on my personal YouTube channel very soon. So whatever watch brand or style you would like to buy, D1 Milan is actually a pretty good style. Very, very good. Very slim, very modern, sleek. You're going to get 30% off. So there's like watches with, it's just 18K. 30% off, it's going to be like, I don't know, 12, 13K na lang. So yeah, if you're thinking of buying a watch, definitely try Armory. That's ARMOURY.ph. Now, disclaimer, they are a client of SEO Hacker, and they partnered up with me here on Leadership Stack to provide you with a 30% discount. That is a super big deal. So if you have friends, family, you want to give a watch to your dad, your mom, siblings, go to this website, do check out, and don't forget to use the coupon code LS30. Leadership Stack LS30. That's a 30% discount on your checkout. All right. I hope that you guys were able to learn a thing or two out of the Leadership Stack live session today. And again, if you have questions, the link where you can ask your questions is down there scrolling kanina pa from dachon.c/discord. Join the community. You can chat me there anytime, any day, and I do respond there via chat, or if you want to do a call, pwede rin. If you have questions about eToro, etc., you can also ask it there. No problem. Join the community, and I'll see you inside. And thanks again for tuning in tonight. And until next week, keep leading. Bye, and see you.